Good Film Fella.
Hello and welcome to this week's Film News with the Good Film Fellas, where we look at what's happening in the world of entertainment press and talk about it, have some opinions, have some laughs, have some giggles. To kick us off with the giggling, have we been following the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial this week? It's been sweeping the internet. There are memes aplenty. TikTok is full of them. I believe we even put one out.
Yeah, it's gone mad, hasn't it?
It's the trial of the century.
Why is it being filmed?
That's the first thing I thought, is that why is this actually being televised?
Yeah, it's like OJ again.
I had something of an existential crisis while watching it as well, because I was thinking, all these people that are being dragged into the trial, like, policemen, therapists, lawyers. I was just thinking, these are just regular people that were doing their job that are now thrust into the public eye. For what reason exactly? What? Because Johnny Depp.
Justice, yeah.
Because this isn't going to be the biggest event in Johnny Depp's life, is it? Or Amber Heard's life. Maybe Amber Heard. Maybe.
If Aquaman 2 falls through.
But it's not going to be the biggest event for Johnny Depp. It's going to be a footnote in his life. But for most people, this is probably the biggest thing that ever happened to them.
But on the flip side, that lawyer's a Wally, isn't he?
Rottenborn.
He objected to his own question.
You didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he'd sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
Okay.
Incredible.
Unbelievable.
Objection hearsay is, I want it on a T-shirt or something. We could make a quick buck on that. Do you know what I mean? Good film fella, objection hearsay. I heard this film was good.
Objection hearsay.
Objection hearsay.
It's a good name for a band if
objection hearsay.
If that pop group from 2001 hadn't happened.
What?
I'd take that.
Oh, was there a pop group called Hearsay? There wasn't there?
There was, yeah. Pure and simple.
I think it's interesting as well because it is a case involving two actors.
Yes.
How much the jury are kind of trying to put up a barrier of remembering that they're actors, because if you've got an actor on the stand, how much of it can you truly believe?
I guess that I haven't seen that, but you do fully expect Mr. Rottenborn to get up and go, Mr. Depp, would you say you're a good actor? Depp, is it true that you're an Oscar-nominated actor? Isn't it true, Mr. Depp, that you're capable of giving very convincing performances? See, this is a line that they haven't gone down. Totally.
One of the things I thought was surprising, I think, from this week as well, is that Johnny Depp's never seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
That's the other thing. I realised that as well. Obviously, we're doing a podcast about film, but I think when you're an actor and when you don't really watch the movies, do you? You're just doing you're too busy doing things. You don't have the time to sit around and actually watch a movie. Your life's too bloody busy.
Unless you're Tom Cruise, apparently he watches at least a movie a day.
Does he?
Apparently so, yeah.
His movies a day, though. Does he go back and watch Cocktail?
Watches Risky Business on repeat.
Just take those old records on.
Should we move on to another conversation? It's the new Doctor Strange posters came out, and I thought they were really good. It's quite rare that I see a poster these days, a movie poster, and I thought, but they're really awesome. They kind of look like they're hand-painted.
Yeah, they are good. They've gone for it's really stylistic with it. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But I did notice, in particular, that each poster has a different sort of call to action on it. One of them says IMAX, the other says Dolby, and the other one says Screen X or 3D or something. They're really trying to get bums in seats at the cinemas. They're really, really going for it, which is interesting.
Have you guys done these different kind of cinema experiences? I think I've done them all now. I've done the IMAX, I've done the Dolby, I've done...
No, I haven't done... There's one called 4DX, which Cineworld do, which I think they spray shit in your face and the seats are going like
That's right.
And I don't know if I'm into that. The one that I did think was quite cool is, I don't know if it's called Super Screen or... Maybe it's 2DX, I'm not sure. But it's the one with the side projection.
Yeah,
okay.
Additional screens.
I saw Ghostbusters like that.
I actually haven't seen that.
It's all right. It's quite...
Cinema Dome,
it's not
the old Cinema Dome.
Necessarily immersive. And one of the problems is that not all scenes use it. So it does flick on and off. But I think once you get used to it, it does add a little something to whatever it is you're watching.
But I still find that quite distracting when you go and see an IMAX movie, and obviously, like, not all of the movie is shot in IMAX, so it kind of, changes.
I didn't notice that with
jumps.
Batman. I feel like the whole movie might have been IMAX. I didn't notice it.
Oh, really?
I didn't notice it swapping around with the new Batman. I saw that in IMAX. I didn't notice the aspect ratio changing. I think with 4DX, I think it can make a bad movie good. So I saw Tom Cruise's The Mummy actually in 4DX.
Oh my
And
lord!
I acknowledged it was a bad movie, but I had a fun time. And the same,
Only
really
because-
good.
Yeah, the moving chairs just stop you from falling asleep.
and and also like the Meg I saw in 4DX because I was like, I'm just gonna get sprayed in water the whole thing. It's fine. I just imagine that. And it made those movies a little bit more enjoyable. Do you agree with that? Do you think it is just that if the cinema's really good, you'll go if it's, but and it needs to be an IMAX or a Dolby these days? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For me, it does now. Yeah, I not that I wouldn't say I don't like going to the regular cinema, but if the option's there to do something a little bit more impressive, for the sake of a couple of extra quid, which is what it boils down to, I'll definitely do a super screen or a wraparound screen or something like that for sure.
I think for me, like, not so much the kind of the big cinemas and the IMAX and that kind of stuff, but living in London, there's a lot of like boutique cinemas where you go and it's more of an experience in the sense that you get almost table service to your seat.
Yes.
You can order drinks and food and stuff, and that kind of experience is quite nice as opposed to going to one of these multiplex cinemas.
Yeah, I think that's the other end of it. Like I do like that boutique experience as well. I think if I'm going to go see a Marvel movie, I want to see it in the IMAX or the Dolby. If I'm going to see just a regular film, then a boutique is a nice place to go. Oh no, that made me talk about actually like favourite movie posters then that we think of when we what makes a great movie poster in your opinion.
Personally, and the film is notoriously shocking,
right?
But the Phantom Menace teaser with Anakin in the Vader shadow has got to be up there among some of the best teaser posters, at least.
Yeah.
Because that was incredible. I mean, what a tease.
A big part of a great poster is actually just the font, isn't it? And we've played a game, Jim and I, where it's like you can name the movie just from the font, like one letter.
Oh, party time.
We have fun.
That was a COVID quiz, guys. That was a lockdown quiz. But yeah, like I think great posters have great fonts. Like you think of Get That Bell Ready, and you think of the Pulp Fiction font, and you think of the the Jaws font. They're all very memorable.
Yeah. And I think I think the good movie posters tend to not shy away from the movie poster trends. They kind of all have the same thing, like the guy kind of shot from behind, looking around, the shot between a person's legs. So any kind of movie poster that doesn't stick to those kind of tropes, I think, is always doing a good job.
Yeah,
I saw a thing relatively recently where someone had collated a bunch of movie posters which use a colour contrast of orange and blue.
It's orange and blue,
and
isn't it? Yeah.
There's hundreds of them. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, they all look the same. It's dreadful.
Yeah.
But I think I also, going back to the Doctor Strange poster, they said that they've done different ones for various formats and stuff. But I think those movie posters where they might have a different one for various characters in the movie are always fun.
Yes, I enjoy those.
The kids' films do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I could be wrong in this, but I think Reservoir Dogs was the first movie to do that and to show Mr. Blonde, Mr. Pink, Mr. Brown. If anyone has any information that's different to that, can tell me one that did it before, that'd be great.
Ridley Scott came out recently. No sequel will ever top the original Alien, he said. Despite coming back to direct Alien prequels Prometheus and Alien Covenant, Scott acknowledges that nothing can beat the OG. There's only ever the one. It's like trying to do a sequel to 2001. Fundamentally, you can't. Really, with the greatest respect to Star Wars, the best film by far is the one that George directed, right? Well, that's really. Hang on a minute. It was unique. It was absolutely wonderful to me. It was the fairy story of all fairy stories in space, and to follow through is a tough call. So, same with Alien. Now, obviously, why this is hilarious is because Aliens exists, Ridley. Aliens exists. James Cameron made a better film than yours. Please stop ignoring it. Like,
he wasn't saying that no sequel of other films will ever beat the original. He was saying none of his sequels.
No, I think he was saying no film. No, I think he doesn't like James Cameron's Aliens. I don't know why he doesn't like it. I think it's I could probably speculate it's because it's an action movie, right? And he made this moody, gothic horror film. and the reason he doesn't like it, obviously, is because he got rid of the alien queen, didn't he? In Alien Covenant and Prometheus, he got rid of. There is no alien queen in those movies. It's black goo that makes the aliens. The queen doesn't make the aliens, right? And also he released. Actually, scrap that. The reason, even worse than that, he released a director's cut of Alien after Aliens had come out, which shows that there's a scene in Ridley Scott's director's cut of Alien where the facehugger goes on your face, and then you start turning into an egg.
What?
Yeah, you turn into an egg. So rather than an alien queen lay the eggs, you yourself turn into an egg.
Well, that's just a fundamental misunderstanding of basic biology, isn't it?
Well, it was Alien. That was like Ridley Scott was like, oh, it's an alien creature. It's a whole new thing. So you turn into an egg, and then you turn into a facehugger. Yeah, in the director's cut of Alien. So that prompted me to want to have the conversation. What sequels are better than the original? And can sequels ever be better than the original? Are they just fundamentally lesser films?
It's hard to comment on this without just listing all the obvious ones, isn't it?
What are the obvious ones?
Well, we've already discussed
Aliens.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would, The Godfather Part 2 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it as much as one.
Terminator
2. James
The
Cameron
Empire
ones.
Strikes Back.
Yeah. So what makes a good sequel? Is it just you have to be like completely different? Because obviously Empire is pretty different to Star Wars. Aliens is pretty different to Alien. Is it just you have to go in a different direction? These Marvel movies seem to be working. Like No Way Home is widely considered the best Spider-Man, and the Avengers movies seem to be getting better, I think, as they go.
That's not. You see, it's hard to call those traditional sequels because it's such long-form storytelling.
Yeah,
it's almost like a new chapter rather than a sequel.
Yeah. I think it's about the villains, though, isn't it, with these Marvel movies? Like, I think Infinity War and Endgame are the best because they've got Thanos, and he's like an awesome villain. They've got Josh Brolin in there, and then the Batman movies, tend to get better because of the villains, like Heath Ledger's Joker, and But yeah, Aliens. I mean, you can make a good Aliens movie, and he says that the Aliens versus Predator films are terrible. They are bad, but I don't dislike having an Aliens versus Predator movie.
They need to stop. They need to stop.
Well,
there's enough Alien films now. They've tried it. It's not worked. Stop.
I want more Aliens movies.
Oh.
I had an idea for an Alien movie. This is Dave's pitch for an Alien movie. You ready for this? It's a space zoo. Yeah, it's like a big giant Titanic in space flying. It's like Jurassic Park. I think
sounds like Jurassic Park.
I've pitched this to Jim once. I'm sure I have. So it's a big giant spaceship where people from all over all the different planets come to see exotic aliens and creatures like a Jurassic Park. And then they get an alien in there, and it takes over the alien zoo, and you get all these weird, crazy alien monsters. Because obviously the cool thing about aliens is that it pops out of the stomach. It's different depending
so you get
on the
a bunch
creature.
of hybrids,
yeah, you
like
get
the Alien 3 dog,
like Gremlins
alien.
2, but with aliens.
Oh, okay, right.
I mean,
yeah.
I'd love to see that. That's the movie I want to see.
Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, classic.
I love that the Professor Gremlin in Gremlins 2. Excuse me, I'd like to talk a little bit. Oh mate, yeah, that's funny.
Talk a little bit about what's happening in this room.
Yeah. Was that civilized? No, probably not.
Who knew that Fish was an Gremlins 2 fan? Amazing.
Yeah, I love it.
I love Gremlins 2. I love it so much. Margot Robbie as Barbie. Have we seen this image doing the rounds?
Is it just that one image that's doing the rounds? Okay.
I'm so confused by this movie.
Yeah.
Like, do we know anything about tone? Who it's aimed for? Is it
I don't know anything about it.
It's crazy.
I'm gonna find it hard to watch it and not think it's just Harley Quinn in disguise. I think because it's like they're quite similar in a way. It's just that one murders people and one isn't, because they're kind of on the same kind of ultra. It's like, this kind of. I don't actually know what we need to know what the trailer is, because I don't know what the tone is at all. But I'm imagining that same kind of wacky cartoon tone.
Well, see, Barbie's not a character; she's just a thing. So they can wrap any plot.
That's
around
not how we
it.
talk about women on this podcast.
She's just a blonde doll, right? So you can give her any personality you want, wrap any story around it you want.
Yeah.
But to get Margot
I'm not sure
Robbie
you
on
can,
board,
though. You can't go full like Schwarzenegger Commando and it still be a Barbie film.
Why
can
not?
Because it ain't Barbie. I don't know what Barbie
Subvert
is, but it ain't
expectations.
Commando Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I mean, there could be a whole like Barbie universe that we're just not aware of. You know, like
Or
magazines.
there's going to
books,
be a
content.
Barbie universe.
Well, do you know what I mean? Exactly. So
Yeah.
there must be. We must be able to find out.
Maybe they could go.
expect?
Maybe they could go meta with it, and it's like she becomes a toy. That I'd be down for. So like Barbie, you know, gets it's like Chucky. She becomes a doll.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like body horror.
Yeah, no, she has to. She has.
She
by
slowly
some-
turns to plastic.
by some weird cosmic, you know, thing, she becomes a doll Barbie, becomes really popular, and then has to get herself transformed back into a person. Or the Barbie doll gets transformed into a real person. Like it's like
mannequin.
weird science. Weird science. Yeah. Like that.
yeah.
That could work. I don't know what the plot is, but that's where I'd go with this.
Who knows?
They have to have Barbie Girl by Aqua.
That would be the credits, surely.
You'd hope so.
You'd like to think so.
Aqua are like this at the minute. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Just waiting for that phone
God, you're
call.
right, guys.
Yes.
Guys, we can see this. We should knock out a Micro Machines tune right now. We could be ahead of the game here.
Excellent.
Fish, get on the synthesizer. I want a Micro Machines diddly. And what else do we need, Jim? What else is coming in? We need something that's not hit the big time yet. You know, Thundercats is obviously we can't take Thundercats, or can we?
Boglins.
Boglins. Should we do
That's a bit like Gremlins.
come up
but
with a
never
little
mind,
Boglins rap right now.
Yeah. No.
So some of the things that come out of CinemaCon, they've announced the new Venom movie, the new Ghostbusters movie. They've announced the new Batman. They're making a Batman 2. Who saw that coming?
Everyone.
But they've also shown, guys, some footage of Avatar 2. Now,
Really?
in
How exciting.
can you believe it? In 3D. There was some talk. Is it going to be 3D? Is it not going to be 3D? 3D's back, guys. Avatar 2 is going to be in 3D.
Oh.
And also, you know, like I say, that James Cameron, every time he releases a movie, he has to advance the tech a little bit, right? He has to push the medium forward. So what is the big, invention for Avatar? Now, I've heard, I think this might be true, that Avatar 2 is going to be the first variable refresh rate movie. Now, I think this is exciting because what it means is if the movie's just playing, it'll be 24 frames per second. So it'll be like the movies that you always see. This is big for Jim because we've talked about the soap opera effect in movies. So it'll be the movies that you're used to. It won't bother people like me who can totally tell when it's more than 24 frames. But then when there's an action movie and things ramp up and things are moving fast, then it will go to 60 frames and you'll get more fluid movement and it'll be clearer and you can see things and then it will slow back down. So that might work. Might be exciting.
So
Go on. Sorry.
Go on.
I was going to say, so they're combating that awful experience that everyone had watching The Hobbit.
That's right.
By doing it variable, so only happening when you can sort of get away with it.
Yes, because I think if you've ever watched
Interesting.
Transformers, if you watch that at 60 frames, the action is clear and you can kind of... in pure CGI environments like Avatar will be, I think it works. It doesn't work when you've got humans
Okay, that's
in
interesting.
a 60 frames environment. So I think it could... And I trust James Cameron explicitly, so I think it's going to be really cool. And he might be onto something.
Good film, fella.